guys, welcome back. Yeah, I didn't upload the other day, so here I am with this. Gotta get back to it before I completely forget what happened. Allow me to introduce you. This is Major Takano. Major, this is Dr. Kyosuke Ari. Hello, I'm Ari. Ari seemed extremely nervous at our first meeting. You probably thought I was in charge of some suspicious organization. Please relax. Call me Takano. Thank you for having me here. Really appreciate it. Please have a seat. A model, lower middle class citizen. Was it good when you described Kyosuke? I'm probably pronouncing that right, but whatever. Ari's demeanor. One could say he was the stereotypical type of person that get conveniently discarded after those crafty elders used their seniority to constantly pick on him. He certainly doesn't seem as cunning as I am, but that doesn't mean he isn't ambitious. Like me, he's a young person who dreams of accomplishing something great and leaving his name upon generations to come. While he acts humble in person like this, his articles were actually progressive as well as aggressive. The gap between the two is quite intense. I read the data concerning the Higurashi syndrome. What do you think? Well, it's really quite the shock. It's very impossible that this is something that steps to the dark side of today's medicine. I can hardly control my intellectual excitement and knowing it's a mystery that has yet to be solved. Hearing that makes me chuckle. Ari is more than interested in Higurashi syndrome, which is good enough for me. She had been through the ringer with far too many people to reach this day, so her honed intuition could tell she would get along well with this man. Even if he is useful to me, he won't cause any problems. For me, both and my sponsor, he's the best person possible for the job. I was shocked, too, to imagine a man of your experience and knowledge was just wasted away in the medical office without any responsibilities or work to accomplish. I have to say that was a grave loss to the medical field. Ari laughed. He probably thought I didn't know, but I had received detailed documents on him, so I knew why he was exiled from the limelight despite his rare talent and achievements. He displayed extraordinary skill, working under a neurosurgery expert, and everyone expected a bright future from him, but he was kicked out due to an ethical controversy. Ari's pet theory was that the antisocial behavior of individuals could be explained by brain disorders. He believed that no one in this world was born a villain, and that they were all just poor patients in need of treatment. He proposed that they were all proper and normal when born, yet as they matured, psychogenesis and various exogenous factors caused brain disorders that made them into villains. Therefore, what those evil people need isn't punishment, it's a treatment, and if their disease are treated, they will become good citizens again. The manner of thinking actually fell in line with the Confucian belief of innate human goodness. According to this theory, humans are born with the capacity for altruism toward their kind, and it's only afterward that they learn and acquire cruelty. Ari believed that this acquisition was a result of brain disorders. The human brain creates thoughts, therefore if one becomes emotionally ill, that means their brain is ill, so if their brain gets treatment, they will recover emotionally too. That field was called psychosurgery. It's falling out of practice in the current Heisei era, but the surgical techniques were applauded until mid-Showa, especially since it's produced spectacular results on a chronic mental patient now said to be incurable. The man who invented it even won a Nobel Prize. That was how revolutionary it was. Humans think that's why they become ill. Everyone knows that's why those who overthink matters are prone to mental illness. When the organ that thinks and debates grows ill, humans deviate from social behavior. That part is called the frontal lobe. Simply, psychosurgery is surgery performed to cut the frontal lobe. This kind of surgery doesn't require removing the whole epicranium. A small hole is drilled through the cranium, and a special scalpel is inserted to cut it, down to cut it. It's not a major surgery, just a technique for quickly cutting the precious frontal lobe. Indeed, it was revolutionary in its simplicity. All the severely ill mental patients miraculously recovered, so the technique spread around the world quickly. Those with abstinent and chronic mental illnesses, the severely ill trapped in deep inescapable depression, all of those could be saved by this technique. Throughout history, humans have come up with many different religious and magic tricks to heal emotional injuries. So, needless to say, the idea of being able to treat them with a surgical technique was truly revolutionary. Ari admired psychosurgery and pushed forward in the field of surgical techniques to treat human souls. However, from the modern human rights standpoint, severing a portion of the brain simply because someone is emotionally disturbed is absolutely out of the question. People gradually started to think differently, and so that psychosurgery was inhumane. The frontal lobe controls how people think, but is also the part that makes humans act human. There was quite a few cases where the cut caused drastic, irreversible changes in the patient. A baseless happiness born from a lack of thought, a change in personality, a loss of interest in everything, major mood swings due to a lack of control over one's emotions. Some even lost part of their memories. Of course, some didn't even survive the surgery. As the Showa era approached its 40th year, use of psychosurgery declined, also due to development of the psychotropic medicine. The surgery was hardly performed anymore anyway, yet some people still believed in the idea and continued to perform the surgery and gather clinical data. They wanted people to recognize the value of the technique once again. Some of these surgeries were performed without consent. One theory is that in Japan alone there were thousands of people who woke up in general anesthesia only to find part of their brain had been removed. Today, to perform such a surgery without patient's consent is considered totally unethical, but it was different at the time. For one thing, the idea that doctors required prior patient consent was proliferated in the modern Heisei era. Therefore, people at the time didn't think it was that big of an issue. It was only later that people started to argue that it was inhumane. Finally, a decision was reached and the curtain closed with the rejection of psychosurgery. Later, the Japanese Society of Psychology and Neurology passed a resolution to end psychosurgery. After that, psychosurgery was banned throughout Japan and made a forbidden subject of Japanese medicine. Ari was a leading person in the field of psychosurgery. He continued to advocate its effectiveness and results. Therefore, he was treated as a war criminal who practiced inhumane medicine and was exiled from the public eye. However, that doesn't mean he changed his beliefs. He still believes that immoral behavior is caused by brain disorders, and the secret of treating them is in fact hidden in the brain. So the existence of the Hinamazawa syndrome caused by parasites living in the brain that control human emotions actually affirms his theory. If it's alright with you, I would love to accept this position. Of course, given Ari's history, he would never turn down this offer. Despite his mild-mannered appearance, Ari was possessed of a mighty ambition. There was no way he didn't desire a chance to complete research that would prove himself to the medical society that abstracted him. I'm handing him a chance on a silver platter. Thank you very much. I knew you would accept. We are lucky to have an expert like you. You'll be a great help. But are you okay with me being the director? Wouldn't it be better for you to hold that position, Takano-san? I'm just a simple doctor. Being in charge of other people is. Don't worry, I'll give you my full support. Our sponsor wanted to pick a civilian. Besides, wouldn't you like to be called Director Ari? Oh, well, but Ari laughed to hide his embarrassment. We're building a research center in Himazawa. Publicly, it will be a clinic, so with your consent, Dr. Ari, we'd like to call it the Ari Clinic. Lord of my own castle, that's more than I deserve. You'll also be placed under the SDF, so you'll be registered as a medical officer with them. Since you'll be my supervisor, you'll be a lieutenant colonel. Lieutenant Colonel Ari, how does that sound to you? I'm not a military man. I'd rather refrain from being called Lieutenant Colonel. Director's already a frightening title as it is. Oh my. He's getting a chance to research brain parasites, plus being given the title of director of a new clinic as camouflage. Plus it comes to staff and funding. He'll have support from the Defense Agency and the Ministry of Health and Welfare, as well as a research lab with state-of-the-art equipment. No wonder he's laughing so excitedly. However, there are some risks too. Since he'll be involved in this secret research, he has an obligation to keep it a secret. Also, he is going to an area plagued by a mysterious and bizarre disease. There's no guarantee he won't contract it himself, but Ari is too young to even think about those things. Aware of all the risks, he quickly signed the contract with the ambition that people recognize his talent once again. When I saw him sign the contract, I finally relaxed. I knew he would agree to join us, but at the same time I was afraid of the chance that he'd refuse. Selecting a director proved more difficult than expected, and the only candidate Takano paired well with was Ari. So if Ari refused to take the position, then frankly she'd be in a place in an even worse situation. Now that Ari has agreed to take the position, research on the Higurashi syndrome can finally begin. The research center, or rather the clinic, will be completed next spring. The Ministry of Health and Welfare and the Defense Agency will send the best equipment and staff, plus an abundant supply of funds. Then finally, our research will begin in earnest. Everything is going well. Of course it is. I've put so much effort into making sure things went smoothly up to this point. That's it. Congratulations, Dr. Ari. Made sure the contractor has been signed. Our contract has been signed. Thank you. I look forward to working with you, Dr. Ari. Look forward to working with you too, Takano-san. I hope we can get along. I'll be devoting my best efforts to this. No, thank you. Let's both give our best. Now the position of the director has been filled. Everything is set. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a few minute break here. Okay, there we go. That was a nice break. Wahaha. That's great, just great. Congratulations, Takano-san. No major Takano, isn't it? This is all possible thanks to your assistance. I must give my thanks to all of you. No, don't mention it, but we should save our congratulations until you finish your research, huh? We only have to start in line, aren't you? Exactly. I'll be devoting my every waking moment to this research. We can hardly wait to see the result of what Dr. Takano could have finished. Well, I was going to say, let's not talk about business today. Let's have a toast to congratulate Takano-san and the Ari Institute. Well, everyone, I'm the god of the Ministry of Health and Welfare. I would like to say a few things before the toast. Takano-san, make sure he works hard, alright? And his research center will be supporting the Institute. If you need any technical support, just call him. Make him work hard, and I'd like to thank you for your support. I'm Takano, pleased to meet you. Takano-san, let me introduce you to these gentlemen. Meet Tamateka-kan and Okanogi-kan from the Self-Defense Force. They're your backup from the SDF. I'll let them introduce themselves. Nice to meet you. I'm Tamateke. I'm commanded to serve as auditor of this project. I look forward to working with you. The funding for our research is largely coming from the SDF. It's only natural for the SDF to assign a watchdog and make sure responsible research is taking place. However, someone in a position like that should be my opponent. Why was someone in that position invited to this private party? Does that mean this auditor is on my side too? Seeing that thorough groundwork, I couldn't help but feel the strength of having the sponsor all over again. I won't be staying in Hinazawa. I only come by routinely to check out the progress of the research. And that's too bad. Hinazawa is a beautiful place with clean air. Please come visit us anytime outside of work too. Thank you. I guess I will. If he really is an auditor, I should maintain a good relationship with this man. He'll hold the key to all future adjustments for our funding as long as we continue drawing it from the SDF. I'm Okanogi. Nice to meet you. He's the commanding officer of the Mountain Dogs, one of our unconventional warfare units. They'll be stationed in Hinazawa to provide you direct support, Major. Should I consider you my bodyguard then? Their principal duty is guarding VIPs and preserving secrets. Think of them as your hands and feet and work them hard. Thank you. Hamatake seems to be an honest type for a military man, but this Okanogi person looks like the complete opposite. His main job is to preserve secrets, but I bet he's also good with espionage tactics like counterintelligence and information control. And so it explains his demeanor. Since the SDF is funding our research on Higurashi syndrome, of course, this is considered a military operation. And therefore, this research has to be done in secret. That's why a union like this is necessary. Besides, it's very reassuring to have someone capable of combat working under me. I should maintain a good relationship with him, too. Okay, enough introductions. Come on, Tamateka-kun, you can relax, too. Let's put aside our rings today. Have a toast. While this is supposed to celebrate the establishment of the Ari Institute, Ari himself isn't here. But that is his job, after all. Ari is simply a puppet to fill a seat. Of course, I expect him to help me a little with his expertise, but is ultimately an outsider. And this is supposed to be a gathering where I would show my appreciation to those who helped me establish the Ari Institute. But it has turned into them thanking me for all my efforts. I'm always the one to pour alcohol for others, but today people are pouring alcohol into my glass. The new participants were trying to make me happy, and all the top people talked to me casually. And they all praised my hard work and efforts. My research is now recognized by many institutes. Oh god, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, there we go. My research is now recognized by many institutions, and I'm ready to spread my wings open wide. And all the people who are expecting some returns once the research accomplishes something are trying to curry favor with me. But right now, I'm just very grateful, regardless of their motives. And so, toast who wish the best of luck to me at the Cotton Cut and also the New Art Institute. Alright, so say, please leave the toast. It's like a dream, I know. This is just the beginning. I shouldn't be satisfied with this so long. But just for today, I can forget everything else and enjoy the celebration. I'm not a heavy drinker, but the drinks taste good. Tonight, and the more I drink, the happier I get. Oh, this really is wonderful. To be called Major by Tomateki and the others is wonderful, too. And it's the rank my grandfather had during the war. That means I finally caught up with my grandfather. This is only the beginning. From here on, I intend to reach what my grandfather couldn't. This is the best night of my life. I ended up leaving to fix my makeup. I'm filled with elation. I need to feel fresh air to calm myself down. My heart's about to explode because I'm so happy. The gathering is taking place a little distance away from the main building. The restroom is the main building, so I need to walk across the hallway. A beautiful and well-maintained Japanese garden is visible from the hallway. It's raining. I usually don't like rain, and I don't mind it at all. Today I feel like even the raindrops are congratulating me. The cool air feels pleasant on my hot skin. It took me a moment to notice how unsteady my footsteps have become. Maybe I drink a little too much. It isn't like me to drink more than I can handle. Although this is a party, I don't want to embarrass myself, so I decided to cool off a little by looking at the beautiful Japanese garden. I found an elegant chair set on the red carpet nearby and sat down on it. Since I was with the associates until now, I was forced to constantly be on guard against embracing myself. But now that I was alone, I could let go and truly relax. When I look up to the sky, I realize it's still raining hard, but in the distance, the horizon is a little lighter. Maybe it won't be raining for much longer. Well, that's normal. Rain stops eventually. No matter how cold it is or how hard it's raining, the rain never stops eventually. I saw a pair of sandals and an umbrella, almost inviting me, so I took them into the garden. The taste of laughter coming from the party sounds far away. I tilted the umbrella and looked up into the sky. I felt the raindrops hit my face, and gazed up at the sky for a while, forgetting all about my hair getting wet. I thought the rain would cool down my boiling heart, but as my body got cold, I started to feel miserable. My bare feet were all swollen, and the throbbing pain I felt made them seem twice their normal size. The gravel road continued forever. I didn't even know what direction I was headed in anymore. I could no longer hear my pursuer. I had probably lost him by running through the woods like mad. My body was covered in scratches. I finally started to feel the pain from that. Wait, are we back in my flashback again, or what? I felt both cold and hungry. There was no place nearby to take shelter from the rain. I was just on a hill path in the woods. My worst fear was that I could end up heading back towards the orphanage. Okay, I guess we're back here. Yep, okay. I had crushed that man's finger. I didn't think I bit it off, but I'm sure it would leave a scar. I had taken that into consideration. It was very clear to me what kind of torture awaited me back at the orphanage. Therefore, I had to reach the house of love and mercy. If only I had been daytime, I could have easily found the right way to go. However, with this rain, there was nothing I could do, but I couldn't stop. I had to keep walking until I reached something. I wondered if Erica and the others had escaped safely. I didn't know how many people came after us, but at least one came after me. In other words, it meant they had a better chance. Did they reach the house of love and mercy? Were they drying themselves with the soft towels? And if they still remembered me, would they save a towel for me too? It felt so cold. I wanted to find shelter and sit down. Well, there was nothing of the sort. I saw trees that looked like I could take shelter under it, but the branches and leaves were dripping with water. And it was then I realized the sky was gradually getting darker. When this day ended in rain, there were no streetlights where I was. Soon enough, it would be totally dark. Then I wouldn't be able to walk any further. I just wanted to sit down, even if it was raining. But if I did sit down, I probably wouldn't be able to stand up again, so I endured. If I hadn't escaped with Erica and the others, I wouldn't have to go through such a misery. But compared to what I had to go through at the orphanage, this was nothing. Thinking about that was the only way to make myself move. But then when I thought about that, it's true that this freezing cold rain was far better than my life at the orphanage. But that was only when compared to the life at the orphanage. Was it better than the normal lives of normal kids my age? I didn't even need to think about that. My parents were alive, although we weren't rich, we led a normal life. This gentle smiles and unforgivable selfishness. The sound of my mother cooking breakfast in the morning and the sound of a newspaper being folded. Precious memories like that. I didn't need anything else. I had plenty of friends. I had fun at school. I didn't like my teacher, but I liked studying. I had everything I needed. That was enough for me. I never complained. I never did anything bad. So why was this happening to me? Everything went downhill after that train accident. The die of fate kept rolling rolling a one. The die never showed its good side of me. If the accident was my fault, then I could have accepted it, but it wasn't. I wasn't even there. I waited for my parents at home. I liked going to the mall with them. We always had a meal at the mall and the restaurant. Sorry, I was distracted. We always had a meal at the restaurant. Nope. I'm skipping this. I always told them to let me know if they were going to the mall, but on that day they went without me while I went to my friend's house to play. My friend wasn't in, so I went back home. I didn't see anyone at home and found a note that said they were going to the mall. I regretted going to my friend's house, so I waited at home. They didn't come home. They were still gone by dinner time. I was getting hungry and got angry at my parents for leaving me. I thought they were having dinner at the mall restaurant without me. If I had gone to my friend's house, I would be eating dinner at the restaurant too. I looked at the little flags that came with the kids' meals. I was collecting those flags. Yes, I was. I was trying to collect 20 of them, thinking that once I collected 20, something wonderful would happen. When I couldn't collect 20 of them, I only needed one more. If I had one more, maybe the accident wouldn't have happened. Very sad memory of a flag for my kids' meal. I kept waiting for my parents to come home from the mall. I was hungry, so I started to eat some dried fish. If I ate too much, my mother would find out, so I was careful not to gorge myself. But the phone rang. I assumed it was from my parents. I answered the phone in an angry manner, but it wasn't them at all. What happened to the house? We had rented it, so maybe somebody else had already moved in. What happened to my room? What about my desk and all the flags that were in the right middle drawer? If it wasn't my house anymore, then where was I supposed to go? And if it remained my house, my parents wouldn't be there to welcome me or protect me. Just because I didn't have my parents to protect me, the whole world became so cruel. How could anyone take me from the house I was used to living in just because my parents were gone? Why didn't they just leave me alone? They asked me many things. I tried to confirm many things, but how could I understand any of the forms they gave me? I was asked a yes or no question. I had no choice but to answer yes. And then before I knew it, I ended up at the orphanage. I was beyond heartless. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just a little girl. I had to sign so many papers, but why this? The warm and gentle world, it's ended suddenly without any advance notice, and I was thrown into their cruel and merciless world alone. Was this the real world? Did I have any allies at all? Just because the parents died and I didn't have any relatives, the world became so sad. When is this die going to end up coming with a 6 instead of a 1 to make up for the continuous series of the latter? No, tears were pouring down my cheeks. The salty taste further saddened and irritated me. I couldn't do anything but cry, and no matter how hard I cried or pitied myself, the cold rain wouldn't warm my body or save me. I didn't even know where I was or which direction I should go. Erica showed me the map to the House of Love and Mercy when we were planning our escape. When we only learned the shortest route, I was completely lost. But strangely, after I finished crying, I felt a groan of strength within myself. I once learned that tears wash away particles in the eyes, but there's a different purpose to them too. Tears also wash away what's in the heart. I clenched my fist and forced my feet to move. I headed in the direction that I believed to be correct on the gravel road. The rain was still pouring, and it was getting darker and darker. I roared at the sky amidst the rain. My sadness was turning into anger. You stupid God, why? What have I done to deserve this? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I was just living a normal life, that's all, so why this? My daddy told me there are good things and bad things in life, but neither last for long. That means this misery won't last that long neither, right? I won't be all alone in this miserable place forever, right? Isn't that right? As I looked up, I felt raindrops hit my face. There is no God. I knew that in my heart, but such disbelief wouldn't save me. If I believed that he was there, I should be saved. No, I needed him to be there. Was he going to answer me? I heard thunder, then I realized he was there. He was there and he was listening to me. In his eyes, everyone was supposed to be equal, and he was listening to me. I've gone through enough, more than enough. I was too happy before, and then I could take this misery, but I wasn't. I was living a normal life. If you ask me, I was happy then. Sure, I was. But this is what I get in return. That's not fair at all. I heard thunder again, but he was listening, and I continued. If this fate of mine was your mistake, then let me be free. Please end my misery and let me be happy again. But if this is in fact my fate, and I'm supposed to live this way until the end, then I don't want it. Kill me. Kill me now with your lightning. Just finish me off now. Come on, kill me ruthlessly right here now. I heard thunder again. It was loud enough to make me shiver. Normally I would just hide in the house and wait until the thunder went away, but on that day I wasn't afraid. Come on, kill me. Miyoko Tanashi is right here. Just like you killed my parents, take my life too. The heavens replied to my provocation. The heavens took aim at me, and a lonely human who dared slaying constant and insolent insults at them. This was my wish. I opened my arms. He's God, so he wouldn't miss me. However, I guess even God made mistakes sometimes. Although he's supposed to be fair, he had been unfair with me. Come on, kill me, take me to heaven. But if you fail to kill me, then try turning my destiny around. A flash from heaven. I thought I smelled the burning just before it hit. The sheer force knocked me to the ground. It was a strange experience. It was something that had just happened, but it already felt like it happened many years ago. I had no idea how long I was down for. I smelled something odd. The bad stench woke me up. When I looked, I saw a huge tree behind me, and my split open. Its leaves were smoldering. I looked up and saw sparks in the darkness. I couldn't understand what just happened. I just stood there. The thunderbolt had struck. It didn't strike me. It struck the tree behind me. I didn't get to die. He was telling me to keep walking in the woods in the cold rain. I won my bet with God. I bet my life. I bet my life against the lightning and thunder. It could have killed me instantly, but he missed, so he had the defense of my life. I looked up at the sky, laughing and bragging I was still alive. I heard thunder again. It was acknowledging its loss. Come on, God, save me. I want the best, so save me from this misery. I stood there, waiting for God to do something while the rain poured down on me. But he didn't answer me again. I couldn't hear the thunder anymore. Again, I felt the warm tears pour down my cheeks. What was I thinking? If there was a God in heaven, he wouldn't have let anything like this happen to me. My miserable life was proof of God's non-existence. The darkness was about to swallow me utterly. Would I have to sleep out there? God must have wanted me to die slowly in this cold rain instead of granting me an instant death by lightning. I wish the sun would go away. I wish the sun would never rise. I wish that as the woods had grown completely dark, my existence would be hidden by that darkness. I wish that I could just disappear. Had it been an eternity, or was it a matter of seconds? I couldn't even tell time in such darkness. It was then I saw something. It was a light. I noticed it only because the woods were so dark. But was it really there? Had it been there this whole time? I felt like the light was inviting me towards it. It was a fluorescent light. I didn't normally like fluorescent lights because I almost thought they looked cold. But I didn't feel coldness from that white light. I made myself believe that the light was a guide sent by God. I had to believe, otherwise I wouldn't be saved. The light reflected in the puddle. It wasn't a muddy puddle. It was a puddle of asphalt. I may have made it out of the woods, and was on a paved road. The light was a street light. Being on a paved road didn't really resolve anything. It was just a country road. It was a road that went through the woods, so there were no houses or shops, and not even a single car going by. There wasn't too many street lights on the road, so it wasn't very dark. My feet touched the asphalt. It felt so different from the gravel I'd been walking on earlier. It felt almost masterful. My feet had grown used to walking on gravel, but after feeling the softness of the asphalt, I never wanted to go back to the former again. I could only choose between heading left or heading right. I was grateful to God for leading me to this asphalt road, but I wish He had given me a little bit more guidance. Such a little bit of luck couldn't make up for all the unhappiness I'd gone through. And that was when I sensed His guidance. I saw another light in the distance. It was only on the right side. I headed towards it, and when I got there, I understood what it was. I was amazed to find it there, a telephone booth. Who would actually make it a call in the middle of nowhere? A telephone booth in the countryside was rather unusual. There were plenty of red public phones all over, but I always just thought telephone booths only existed in big cities. It almost looked as though the telephone booth had been put there as punishment for doing something bad. When I thought that, I felt bad for that lonely telephone booth. It reminded me of myself. Even if I went to the telephone booth, what could I do there anyway? I already knew the answer to that question, but no matter what, I just had to get in there. The door squeaked as I opened it. There was lots of bugs flittering around because of the light. I usually hated bugs, but in that moment I felt like that they were my friends, sheltering me from the rain. Like me. There was no heater, but it was still very warm inside the booth. It sheltered me from the cold rain. Soon enough I crumbled to the floor. The warmth from the fluorescent light embraced me gently, and I felt like it was telling me that it was okay to cry. But I had no more tears left because I cried them all when lightning struck. Aching scratches covered my body. My calves were in pain too. Everything hurt everywhere, and I didn't want to get up ever again. I wished I could fall asleep. If I did that, the stuffing orphanage might find me. The windows in the booth were high up, so if I sat down, I wouldn't be visible from the outside. But as it was the only shelter in these dark woods, the staff would be sure to check it. That was why I couldn't stay here for long. Telephone booths from back then weren't completely made of glass, so it was possible to hide inside one. My exhausted spirit understood that I had to move, but I just couldn't make myself. Maybe I was experiencing some kind of vision. I felt a strange calmness that I'd never experienced before. I didn't feel that I was myself. It was very strange. I thought that maybe I was killed by that lightning, and I assumed I was still Miyoko Tanashi, but maybe I wasn't her at all. I seriously considered those things. Then I started thinking that the telephone booth had something to do with it, because God led me there. He couldn't have done just because God led me there. He couldn't have done so just because it was providing shelter from the rain. There had to be something else. I wondered what it was. Could there be something in the booth that could save me? But what? A telephone booth is used to make a phone call. I didn't have any money. But then I noticed something that looked like copper. My heart skipped a beat. The 10 yen coin I saw wasn't there before. Did I just miss it? I didn't think so. It might have just showed up. In other words, the 10 yen coin was guidance from God. He was telling me to make a phone call. Make a phone call with that coin. But who? There was no telephone book. In that case, I could only call a number I knew. Did God want me to do that then? This was only one coin. I could only call one number, and I couldn't talk for that long. I had challenged God earlier, so it's just a matter of course to think that God was challenging me in return. I only had one chance, and He wanted me to test my luck with that chance. I left the phone booth and looked up at the sky. That yelled at my heart, You're on, God. I wonder who I'd call. Who? My house? My parents were dead, and I had no relatives. Even if I called, nobody would answer. Actually, the phone bill wouldn't have been paid for a long time, and so the phone would already be disconnected. My house was lost in life itself. The debris of my life. Calling home would simply be an expression of regret, which ran counter to the positive attitude of one trying to change your life. So surely using the coin to call my house was wrong, which meant I had to cast this 10 yen coin towards my future. Future? My future. What future anyway? Then I heard a huge thunderclap which cleared my mind. In that clear state of mind, I saw something from the past. It was the last sight of my father, his final moments in the hospital bed. Though suffering from pain, he tried to tell me something very important. If by chance I am to die, turn to Dr. Takano, Dr. Hifumi Takano. Say it for me. Hifumi Takano. That's right, Dr. Hifumi Takano. He's my former teacher. He will help you. Daddy, daddy, daddy. Money doctors came into the room in a hurry. He wanted to tell me something else, but the doctor stopped him from talking so it was inaudible. It shouldn't have been, but it was to me. I heard it, but I didn't want him to hear him say it while suffering, so pretend I didn't hear it. He said it while coughing. I heard it. They were numbers. I swallowed them once. That's right. It was a phone number. He knew nobody would take me in because we had no relatives. He told me to get in touch with him, Dr. Hifumi Takano. He tried to tell me his phone number. What had I done? He tried so hard to use his last shit to tell me the most important thing. The thunder from earlier made me remember it. The number I couldn't even remember once came out so smoothly. I dialed it in. This was really it. This is the number for my father's teacher, Dr. Takano. But my hand stopped just as I put the coin in. Well, if I hadn't remembered it correctly, no, there's no need to hesitate. I had to believe it myself. This had to be the correct number. I had to dial it before I forgot it again. I picked up the phone and put the coin in. Beep. I heard the dial tone on the other end. At that point, I decided to kill myself if it didn't work. I could go back in the woods and wait for another lightning bolt. I could lie down and let the water drown me too. I could also fall asleep in the middle of the road and wait for a car to run me over. I made up my mind to put the coin in. I didn't hesitate any longer. I dialed the number at once, but I had to be careful. If you dial quickly, and sometimes you can make mistakes. I was getting irritated that almost made the phone number go vague in my head. I dialed the last digit and heard some electronic sound on the other end. I hoped I dialed the correct number. I didn't know what to say to Dr. Takano if it did connect. Where was I? What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to ask him? I didn't know any of those things. Making a call isn't cheap. 1 yen coin would buy me a short time to talk. Though I must have connected then, I heard a ringtone. I only a short time when someone answered the phone. I thought for a moment that I should put the phone down. Then I could at least get the coin back. I could call back after sorting out my thoughts, but then someone answered. Hello? This is Takano residence. Felt like I was suffocating. I may have been correct. I couldn't tell the age of the speaker, but it was a grown man's voice. Anyone who was my father's teacher must have been quite old. Never mind that. I had heard him say something. Are you Dr. Takano? Dr. Hifumi Takano? Yes, who is this? He must have been suspicious. I couldn't blame him. A stranger's asking him about his name. Of course he gets suspicious. I'm sorry, I'm Tanashi. Mio Yoko Tanashi. Tanashi's son? Yes. My father told me to get in touch with you. His name is Takemitsu Tanashi. Tanashi-kun, I remember him. His voice suddenly changed. Dr. Takano remembered his old student. I'm his daughter. He told me to call you. Has something happened to Tanashi-kun? Not good. I was going to run out of time. My parents died in a train accident and I was told to call you. Tanashi-kun is dead? I see. Both of them? I'm sorry to hear that. I knew him from when I was teaching under college. He was a very hard-working young man. I think last time I saw him was at the wedding. Obviously, he didn't know I was born, but he remembered my father. That was truly a stroke of luck. And what did Tanashi-kun want to tell me? Well, I didn't know what to say. I was only told to call Dr. Takano, but how could I tell him that? My time was running out. I felt more anxious by the minute. Phone calls were disconnected without notice, but somehow I sensed it. I only had enough time for a long sentence, so I decided to say one sentence filled with all my hopes. Help me. The phone call got disconnected. Maybe he only heard part of what I said. I could only hope that he was able to sense my despair. I couldn't hear anything from the receiver anymore, but I actually talked to Dr. Takano. I confirmed that Dr. Takano existed. He existed, and he remembered my father. If he grieved over his student's death, he would come visit my house. He would find out I was sent to an orphanage, and then he would come and get me. That's when tears flowed down my cheeks again. I thought that my life was hopeless. I never knew that finding even a grain of hope could make me feel so happy and strong. The voice I heard in the phone was so warm and dependable. My father must have thought about me for a long time in that hospital bed, and he came up with a name he could trust his daughter with, Dr. Hifumi Takano. So I could trust Dr. Takano. I don't believe that he would find me, but it might take more than just a few days. I'd have to wait patiently. A few days? A month? More? I could only wait patiently. Either way, I couldn't stay in the telephone box. The staff would easily find me there. I went into the rain again, but this time the rain felt a little warmer than before. I had wished to die by lightning, but after that phone call, I was filled with hope and the will to live. I wanted to live, and that's why I felt pain all over my body. When I still wished to die, I didn't feel anything. I had to wait patiently until Dr. Takano came to pick me up. I had to get to the House of the Love and Mercy. That would be the best place to wait for him. I didn't think the orphanage would tell me I would get to the House of Love and Mercy, but the house wouldn't stop me from calling him. All I had to do was call him again, let him know where I was, but I didn't know where I could find the House of Love and Mercy. I couldn't see any signs anywhere, and I didn't even know what the direction the orphanage I escaped from was in. I couldn't just stop. I had to walk. I had to find shelter. I had to find someone and ask for directions to the House of Love and Mercy. I had to keep going because I finally saw the light at the end of a tunnel. The chills and throbbing pain tormented me, but I couldn't die until I met Takano-sensei. I wish the car would come by. If it was someone who lived in the area, I could ask, but the police wouldn't do me any good. I was sure the orphanage had already called the police about our escape, and they wouldn't be forgiving. The police were sure to send me back to the orphanage. Either way, I wish that someone would show up. Otherwise, I'd have to keep walking on the asphalt in the darkness forever. How long did I walk? Still no car, just as I couldn't help but think that maybe the world perished, leaving only me behind. A car showed up. I sensed the car coming from behind me, so I turned around and saw their headlights approaching me. I thought for a moment, should I stand in the middle of the street to stop the car? It was so dark, I didn't think the car would notice if I just waved at it, but if I were to stand in the middle of the street, I could get run over. While I thought the car was getting closer and closer when I made the phone call, I panicked and didn't know what to say. So with this car, I'd have to think very carefully. If I couldn't think of anything, then I'd just let the car go. With those thoughts vaguely on mine, I was incredibly surprised with the car slamming the brakes with a screech again to a stop. Maybe I wasn't all there after that miraculous experience of lightning struck nearing me. I had half lost my mind in those dark ways, so I probably wasn't thinking very straight. Because if the car had stopped after recognizing me, in other words, the driver knew who I was, and the only people in the area who recognized me were suddenly a chill ran through my whole body. I started to dash away. I heard a voice calling after me. I no longer had the strength to run. My feet were trembling. I couldn't make them cooperate. I realized I shouldn't have sat down in the telephone booth. That's why I couldn't keep running. I was suddenly grabbed from behind the collar, my clothes almost choking me. I heard fabric being ripped. I fell in the puddle and stuffed him on top of me. This time his finger wasn't in my mouth. All I could do was struggle. And as I did, I remembered all the scary stories Eriko told me the others did. All the tortures the child who was caught had to endure. The drowned duck punishment, the squished caterpillar punishment, the splayed piggy punishment. The names of those eerie-sounding punishments came to mind. I screamed and struggled with all my might, but it was too late. I was shoved into the back seat of the car. Why couldn't they just let me go? Simple. They didn't just want me talking to them, but they didn't want me telling them about anybody. Blah blah blah. And staff were yelling, and screaming while chasing me. But once we were in the car, they went silent. It was like the Grim Reaper had come to get me. Whether I liked it or not, I had to come to terms with the fact that my luck had run out. But I had called the Kano Sensei, so I knew he would come get me. I didn't know when that would be fine, but I knew it would be happening someday, so I wanted to live. I'll be so saved if I lived. I couldn't even imagine the kind of punishment that was waiting for me. But even so, I said to myself, I have to live. I already found the light at the end of the tunnel. All I had to do was endure until I reached it. The car stopped. We had arrived at the front gate of the orphanage. The two staff members grabbed my shoulders so I wouldn't run. My shoulders were very skinny, so it hurt a lot. I was scared. Scared of what I would have to go through. We went to the door, and I was finally sheltered from the rain. No way I wasn't sheltered at all, though. It was in the middle of the night and long past the time to turn off all lights. The orphanage should have been quiet. When I heard a noise, it was a strange noise, the noise of a shower, the noise of metal objects crushing into each other, also the staff yelling and screaming. A chill went down my spine. Oh, what could I possibly write down to fully describe this fear? I stopped and I knocked on the door of the storage room, and the door opened. The moment it did, an angry roar issued from inside. The sight leapt into my eyes. I couldn't completely take in the bizarre scene before me. Two staff members were hitting a mat with bamboo swords while yelling violently. It was a mat used in, the one you use when you do gymnastics. But why was it rolled up like that? The rolled up mat was tied with a string nail standing in the corner. The staff members kept hitting it. Usually words are said to a person, but while they were yelling how to roll that mat, the way they were hitting it and yelling at it was as if they got mad. But wait, I could see the sticking up on the top of the rolled up mat. It was, let me see, whose shoes were those? All of a sudden I froze. I couldn't think anymore. One man stood in front of me. The man's pinky was wrapped in bandages. My eyes moved forward to his pinky and met with his. The beast's eyes met mine, peering with intent to devour me. I squeezed out a voiceless scream. My voice didn't come out, so it was more like a goldfish opening and closing its mouth. The beast stuck his finger in front of me and roared. I couldn't tell if it was a word or a meaningless shriek, but I was certain it was something abusive. I was scared. I didn't want to die. I wanted to live. I knew that Dr. Lucano was strove to save me. And that's why I had to live and submit myself to fear. I'm sorry. Ah. The hand with the bandages grabbed my hand and dragged me along. All I could do was apologize and beg for forgiveness, while hoping the beast had even a tiny bit of mercy in him. I was like a broken, apologizing doll, a mad doll that kept muttering apologies until his key wound down. I was their toy, shedding tears, coughing blood, and apologizing in place of clicking gears. I could see into the shower room while he dragged me along. The door was open and I heard wailing from the inside. What I saw was very strange. There was a locker on the side in the shower, but on the outside. And the locker was taking a shower sideways. I never imagined anything like that before. The locker was taking a cold shower while two staff members hit it with bamboo swords. And I explained the metallic noise I heard before. The beast didn't want me to see that. He pulled my hair violently and twisted my neck so I looked the opposite direction. And I realized he didn't do that to stop me from watching that shower. He did that to make me look at something else. I saw a window in a courtyard. Usually it was too dark to see anything, but its lights were on and the courtyard was very bright. Then I saw it. Instead of the hen house, I saw blank. What is that? Blank, blank, and blank. And that hair was Eriko's. Blank, blank. But why was she... What? That was too far. What? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, blah, blah. I don't want to die. I know Dr. Vicano is going to save me. I know he is coming. I was talking to the staff bath, taking the staff bath, and it stunk of ammonia. I saw a blank. It was just, doesn't fit in the bathroom. While I was in the bathroom, I thought, he's not planning to blah me with blood, is he? No way, no. Tanashi, this is your punishment for breaking the rules, okay? Everyone must follow the rules. If you don't get punished, do you understand? I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. I'll do everything you tell me to do. I promise, I really do. Please spare me from blood. No, that hurts. No. No! God, that sounds horrible. What is this? Okay. Wow. So is there no tips again? Okay. Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. I guess wow. I guess I'll see y'all later.